Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're stepping back, way back, into ancient Rome. Think the heart of this massive empire, gleaming marble, golden halls, and, all those secrets whispered behind silk curtains. A place of just immense power, but also really dangerous games. And right at the center of one of Rome's most, well, frankly, scandalous stories is Valeria Messalina. She was the wife of Emperor Claudius. Accounts paint her as one of the most audacious women Rome had ever encountered. Incredible beauty, charm, yes, but also this fiercely dangerous ambition. Because in Rome, beauty wasn't just beauty, was it? It was tied up in power, lust, betrayal. Games Messalina played exceptionally well. So our mission today is to really unpack her story, from her rise to that dramatic fall using the sources you've shared.
Absolutely. And to get Messalina, you really have to start with where she came from. She wasn't just anyone. She was from a noble family. I mean, really noble. Bloodlines connected to Rome's biggest dynasties. She married Claudius when she was still just a teenager, really young. And it seems clear she walked into that palace understanding the power game, not some shy bride. Claudius, on the other hand, well, he was older, much more the scholar type, often mocked for his limp and stammer, things that didn't exactly scream emperor material back then. He seemed to just see her as this perfect young wife.
Yeah.
Completely unaware, it seems, that she'd become his biggest political weakness.
So she wasn't naive at all. She knew the score from day one. How did she start leveraging that? Was it obvious right away?
No, it was subtle, at least at first. Her charm just radiated through the palace. Senators started lingering a bit longer near her, invitations to her private dinners, something very sought after.
Right.
And Claudius, he was busy, running an empire. He apparently just brushed off the early rumors as jealousy, simple court gossip.
And her desires. They weren't just for, say, affection or love. It was more complex. It sounds like she craved power, excitement, maybe even total control over the men who wanted her.
That seems to be the picture painted by the sources, yes.
Yes.
Lovers became allies. Affairs became, weapons. Each man who fell for her, it seems, gave her another thread to weave into this growing web of influence she was building.
What's fascinating, too, is how bold these affairs apparently became, not just quiet little indiscretions.
Exactly. Rome's elite knew playing with her was like playing with fire, but they couldn't seem to help themselves. Things moved from, shadowed garden meetings to pretty blatant encounters behind locked villa doors right there on the Palatine Hill. The audacity grew.
And then there's that truly wild rumor, we have to mention it, even if it's just a rumor, that she actually competed with prostitutes, like in a secret contest to see who could seduce more men in one night.
Yes, that story circulated widely.
Whether it's true or not, the fact that people believed it, or at least repeated it, wow, talk about a reputation. It made her both a legend and a warning, didn't it?
It certainly did. And it points to what seems to be the core motivation. For Messalina, seduction wasn't just about pleasure. It was fundamentally about power.
But was it only power? Do you think maybe there was any genuine feeling there, or was every single relationship just a cold calculation? It's hard to imagine it being purely transactional.
That's always the question with figures like this, isn't it? History isn't often neat. The sources definitely emphasize the ambition of the power plays. But it's possible, maybe even likely, that for her the lines blurred. Perhaps the thrill was the mix. The pleasure of the conquest and the power it brought her. But ultimately, the goal always seems to circle back to influence and control. Passion as a tool, perhaps.
Okay, so this pursuit of power, it really hits a peak, a dangerous one, with Gaius Silius. Tell us about him.
Right, Silius. He was young, handsome, charismatic, a rising star in Roman politics. The sources say Messalina was instantly drawn to him.
But this wasn't just another affair, was it? It sounds like she saw him as something more, a partner, an equal. Maybe even
her king. Yes. That's the dangerous implication. This wasn't kept quiet. It was a huge gamble. And soon, Rome was buzzing. Whispers everywhere. Was the Empress actually plotting to get rid of Claudius?
It sounds almost like she wanted people to talk, wanted Claudius to find out eventually.
Their relationship definitely became bolder, more public. Secret meetings turned into lavish displays. It does seem almost like a challenge, doesn't it? And Claudius, well, he remained seemingly oblivious, maybe too caught up in running the empire, maybe denial.
It's still baffling. Why was he so blind? Was it just distraction, or was he maybe refusing to believe his young wife could betray him so openly, so publicly?
The accounts suggest a bit of both. He was busy. Imperial matters took precedence. But there might also have been, perhaps, a willful ignorance. Some historians suggest he simply couldn't fathom it, or perhaps chose not to. Either way, that blindness was about to have dire consequences.
And those consequences arrived dramatically, didn't they? The moment that tipped it all from scandal into actual treason. This was in 48 AD. Claudius is away from Rome, and Messalina and Silius stage a wedding.
A wedding, yes. A full marriage ceremony, while she is still very much married to the Emperor of Rome.
Just unbelievable.
And what makes this so critical, such a huge misstep, is that it wasn't just some private vow, it was public. An open challenge to Claudius. Whether you see it as purely symbolic or deeply personal defiance or an actual clumsy coup attempt, it didn't matter. It was a direct threat to the throne. And in Rome, that kind of betrayal, especially so blatant, it meant death, no question.
So when the news finally got back to Claudius,
Yeah.
how did that land?
Like a dagger, the sources say. His advisors, who'd probably been suspicious for a while, they jumped on it, urged immediate action. And when Claudius finally truly grasped the scale of it, the public humiliation, the real threat to his rule, he didn't hesitate.
No more blindness then.
No. The decision was swift. Orders went out. Arrest Messalina and Silius immediately, before they could even think about rallying support.
And the crackdown was fast.
Very fast. The Imperial Guard moved through the city. Silius was caught and executed almost instantly. His ambitions, whatever they were, silenced. A clear message sent. Messalina. She apparently fled to the palace gardens, maybe hoping, even then, that Claudius's feelings for her would somehow protect her one last time. But love, especially in that environment, was fragile. And hers, well, it had clearly run out.
So the guards found her there, in the gardens.
Yes, and they gave her a choice, apparently.
Yeah.
Take her own life, the noble way out, or face the executioner.
A grim choice.
She hesitated. Shaking, unable to do it herself is how it's described, until finally the captain of the guard just ended it. Right there.
So what do we take away from all this? It's more than just a story of ambition gone wrong, isn't it? It feels like a stark illustration of how Roman power structures could be, well, vulnerable in unexpected ways. She exposed a weakness in Claudius's authority, didn't she?
She absolutely did. Her actions highlighted the fragility, perhaps, of imperial power when faced with that kind of internal, seemingly domestic challenge blown up to a public scale.
The woman who was once the most desired in Rome, dead in the gardens where she'd held court, her story became this chilling lesson, didn't it? For every empress after her, that desire is power in that world, but unrestrained power. It kills.
Precisely. And it really leaves us with a potent question, not just about Rome, but maybe about power dynamics everywhere. What does Messalina's story ultimately tell us about the price of unchecked ambition and the incredibly volatile mix of power and personal desire in really any era?